Hello Ezekiel, hello Hugo. My international contingent has arrived. Good evening. Well, why are you intrigued? Feed my Frankenstein. Yep, Frankenstein Night. Have to set up on the computer. Okay. Well, I'm already actually, I'm painting tonight, so I'm finishing up. We will be painting Frankenstein's. Pop out chat. Okay, hello everyone. I'll probably name the merman tomorrow. I want to get him finished up and molded tomorrow. If I get him finished and molded tomorrow, then maybe I could have a Masters of the Universe Monday and work on Beast Mode and Merman and get those two finished up. I think those would be very cool. Okay. Very cool. Hang on to those Merman name ideas. Crazy busy day today in the shop so far, and it is not letting up. We have lots to do. I did not pour the goat yet. I will probably pour. You know what? I think that I will pour right now. I have a couple things to pour up. It's not a bad way to get us started. And then I will move on to working on the Frankensteins. So, yes. I have to grab a mold banding strap. You guys need to get plugged in. You seem sluggish, low on energy. Okay. All right. I too am off tomorrow. Well, as much as I'm ever off. Okay, so let's go in here. And I don't know that I have enough latex to pour up every single thing I want to pour up. This is a beast mode. He's right here. I did pull the murder hornet this morning. That looks pretty good. Yeah. So I do have to burr his front teeth or else they'll get bubbles in them. Feel like that should be sufficient. Okay. That is beast mode poured. It feels like I have enough to do the goat. Let's grab the goat mold. What's great about the goat is that it doesn't have a big chance to trap a lot of air. His body is pretty smooth. Previously, I was burping beast mode. I will be burping the goat here in just a moment. Open up. Open mouth. Insert latex. Gotta get rid of some of these empty buckets. This is the first pour of Capriscorn. Did get a good little bubble out of his mouthful area. That's good. I have not sold a full murder jacket yet, but the one that I have poured up, I'm going to finish out so we can get pictures of him finished out. He needs more latex in him. Alexa, countdown, 2 hours.
2 hours, starting now.
One more thing to pour up. Couple chances for air bubbles, but not many in a fifth. We are poor. I'm just a poor boy from a poor family. That was a foreign joke. I don't own a watch. I do own a watch. It stays in my gentleman's drawer. Alexa, how much time is left on my timer?
I have 1 hour and 57 minutes left on your 2-hour timer.
There we go. I will get pics as a blank first. I'm kind of waiting on the wife for that because she does those things. This will be the slab bucket. Greetings, Mark FX. Joan Crowley. Is it Joanne? Joanne Crowley? Oh, cool. I will look at that, big dog. Obviously, I can't right now. I am committed, but as soon as I am not as committed, I will. So, what we have here is I have this Frankenstein monster that I have to finish out as a bust. And I have this one here that I am going to finish out as a mask. So both of them get painted. We have to start with dremeling and then we will spray them. But get the dremeling done. Greetings! I do know what tryptophobia is. Yes, that's the hole of fears. The fear of holes, not the hole of fears. It's a fear of holes. But they have to be organic, like a shower head doesn't do it, but those seed pod plants do. You do have one of them. All right. Yeah, I think that's going to be good for him. All right. So, when in doubt, let's Dremel. I'll be doing the dremeling around here, thank you very much. Yeah, if I could get someone in Antarctica to buy a Frankenstein from me, I'll have one on every continent. Wait, Africa and Antarctica. I have to get both of those. I'm doing well, Danielle. Thank you for asking. I am doing well. I am safely at home at my cabin in the woods, making monsters. Got latex in my eye earlier, and that was 40% less fun than it should have been. These are obviously set for Rob, whose head is tinier than mine. Oh, that's better. Yep, PPE, gotta love it. That's awesome, Logan. Good luck with that. It's Rob's birthday today. Today is Rob's birthday. Psycho, I am not using a stone. What I am using is a felt wheel. This is one of those little felt pieces. I buy these sets that have all these different felt tips in it because I go through felt tips. Felt is the best thing to use on latex mask trimmings. You can buy those sets on Amazon pretty cheap, like 20 bucks. Yeah, and just spill it wherever he wants. Yes, I do. I trim down as close as I can before I use the Dremel. That was a hoot. That was tell Stacy, great job on that. She was the director on that one, and then our talented crew was the peeps for that. Yeah, I would say that rare see that. It's rare for people to see the effort that goes into mask making. I just don't think a lot of folks show it. For a long time, they wanted it to kind of be a mystery. So. Rodney Pope, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, Brian, how many Dremels have I worn out? I probably kill 1 or 2 a year. I mean, I use them a lot, and I have 3 or 4 in that drawer, you know. It's a tool, and I have found that Dremels actually last a good deal longer than the ones from Harbor Freight. Be careful buying anything from Harbor Freight that has to spin really fast. As long as it doesn't have to spin really fast, it's you're probably safe to buy at Harbor Freight. Rodney, thank you so much. I appreciate that. This mask would not make a good bride of Frankenstein. But I could make a bride of Frankenstein with masks I already have. I would probably use my female zombie in all honesty. She would be a little more necrotic than you're used to seeing with Bride of Frankenstein, but this would just look like a trans Bride of Frankenstein because it's a pretty masculine sculpt. So now what I'm doing is I have naphtha on this rag, and the naphtha is going to hit that real thin latex and that powdery latex along that line, and it's just going to mellow it out. Naphtha kind of dissolves latex, so I wouldn't want to sit too much of it on here at once. That's why I put it on the rag, and then I wipe it down. Here at the house, I probably have about 115 molds. And then at dark hour, we probably have another 60 or so. And a lot of those are my old ones. Yeah. The heat guns I go through pretty quick too. But I mean, I use them a lot. I use a heat gun every single day. And some of them I use as the heating element on a foam latex oven. So, you know, that's a lot of work for one. So, you know, look at that seam line now. I mean, it's there, but it's kind of tough to see. This guy could hit a little better. Yeah, the naphtha following up the Dremel is the key. That's a big one. Yes, it does. It kind of melts it and eats through it. I mean, it just makes it not be there. Let me grab a piece of latex and I'll give you a better example. Well, I got some flash over here that I can cut off and Dremel away. All right, so here is just the straight latex flash, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rough it up with a Dremel. Now that is the felt wheel, and you see how that roughed it up and really chewed on it quite a bit? Okay, now I'm going to take the naphtha and just run over that. Because what is it going to attack first? It's going to attack all those little hairs and stuff first. It's not going to attack, you know, the main body of latex. That's going to take a lot longer for it to have an effect on. But those little latex hairs and things, that's what this is going to clean up. Look at it now. Much cleaner. Doesn't look hairy or chewed up. Jordan, Immortal Masks doesn't line their masks. They don't put a liner in their masks. they embed a mesh in their masks. They also make silicone masks, and I make latex masks. So when I make silicone masks, I embed a mesh in it. But they don't put a liner in their masks. They put mesh inside of their masks. No problem, guys. I'm happy to show you whatever. Is there anything you need a better detail of, just let me know. Enigma, hello again. Immortal masks are awesome. They're beautiful. They're a little hot to wear in Texas, and of course they're silicone, so they're pretty expensive. I'm a haunted house guy, don't forget. So I'm trying to outfit like 30 people with masks, not just one or two. So Glenn, I don't have a half mask bust that I can really recommend right now. David Mosher sells one, Mosher Effects, and it's good, but it isn't, it's not deep enough, and you can't sculpt a full ear on it because there's a wall like right behind the ear. So, you have to, I don't like it, it's not deep enough for me. And the molds come out a little funky and they're harder to pour. And then Monster Makers has a half mask sculpting form that they do. Monster Makers has one, but I don't like it either. Again, it's a little too shallow for me. I like a nice deep one that's going to make pouring easier and molding easier. You cannot use okay, so Enigma, there's UltraCal 30 and then there's HydroCal. They're different things. So you're saying HydroCal 30. To my knowledge, there is not a HydroCal 30. There is a HydroCal white and there is a statuary HydroCal. So could you use that for a life cast? I would say no. It gets very hot up against the skin and it's very drying to the skin. I would do your life cast in silicone, and then you can pour up a plaster bust with your HydroCal. But do your life cast in alginate or do it in silicone. I cannot recommend doing it in plaster. Typical thickness, you know what? It's kind of by feel, but if I had to guess, I'd get mine to be about 1/8 of an inch. I like that. Honey, you can just push those heads to the other side. And my wife is here to read comments. I'm not complete until she is in the room.
Sorry, that's late.
Should I use my regular busy and build a clay wall? You're going to have to retype that because I don't know what you mean. I too am regularly busy. And now all of your comments are buried in a sea of people saying hello to my wife. As they should be. Let your comments sit there and think what they have done. Okay, yeah. See, the naphtha cleans up so nice and simple. It smells bad. It'll kill you dead. But boy, is that effective. Okay. Yes, you did. So we have a mask that we're working on. We have a head that we're working on, which is foam filled, and it's going to be a display. And then we have a set of hands that we are working on. So multiple Frankensteins. And yes, I am aware that Frankenstein was technically the doctor, but every Frankenstein DVD case doesn't have the doctor on the cover. It has the monster on the cover and the big word Frankenstein, like it's a label. Intelligence is knowing that Frankenstein is the doctor. Wisdom is knowing that the monster is Frankenstein. Okay. Now that we have that covered, because you're all going to yell at me about that one. There's maybe some gray area up here, and let me look at it, because that'll just be easier before you came in the room. How much extra would I charge for hair punching on the mask, for eyebrows, facial hair, and head hair? Are you asking me to do it, or are you asking how much I think you should charge someone to do it? Because I normally, for hair punching, I normally give a price that is high enough where people say, I don't want you to do that. Because I don't enjoy hair punching. Normally I will just lay the hair on with glue. I'll glue it in. Or I'll hand lay the hair, but I won't punch the hair. Okay, where's the dogs? The dogs are behind me. Thank you for asking, Psycho.
Psycho. Okay. So you're doing 2 Frankensteins tonight? Frankenstein's monsters?
Yes.
Okay. One is green, one's classic black and white.
Yes.
Okay.
The mask is black and white, the bust is green.
Correct.
It's like I don't know what I'm doing. Say my first Frankenstein rodeo.
You know what you're doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh. Okay. Wife, we are going to have to go into a bit of an undiscovered country because I need to go outside in order to spray these masks. So you could come with me and read comments off the phone.
Psycho asked me, did you ever send the voice box for the Wolfman?
I have not sent the voice box for the Wolfman yet. As soon as I get it, I will turn and send it right to you.
When you're ready, unplug the phone and hand it to me, and I'll just keep reading and following outside.
Great. I suspect I will have it early next week, Psycho. Maybe I can get it out to you by the end of next week.
Should I just use my regular bust and build a clay wall for a half mask?
You can. If you are on the live Creepers page, I gave Rodney instruction on how to mold a half mask from a full head bust, and he did a wonderful job of it. And he posted pictures of his process, so you can see how Rodney did the layup of it. He did a good job on it. These little guys, they come with this great little filter that keep them from getting clogged. I throw that away right off the bat. I don't need that thing. Don't tell me how to live.
How much would a foam-filled blanket be?
Well, a half mask blank is normally $30, and we do $25 for most of the upgrades. So $55. If it's a full mask, those start at $100, so it'd be $125.
Big Dog says, ooh, new spray gun.
Yeah.
Ezekiel says, Frankenstein Rodeo would be a fun night. Is your haunt going to be open for Halloween this year?
I believe so. Obviously, we're still learning about everything, but right now the plan is for us to have it be open. Yes.
Will a pint of casting latex be enough for a full mask?
I would say no. I would actually get yourself a 5-gallon bucket, because it's going to take about a gallon or so to fill the mask, sometimes as much as a gallon and a half. I have some full head masks that take 3.5 gallons to fill up. So keep that in mind.
Years ago, when I was in high school art class, I made a plaster bandage mask. Thinking back, I potentially could have poured stone into that and had a stone casting on my face.
Yes, if you released it very well, because plaster tends to stick to plaster.
What is the PSI you use in a spray gun?
Normally I use 80 PSI right out of my compressor.
Is there a reason to throw the filter away?
The latex mask paint tends to clog that little filter very quickly, so it just causes problems.
Say hello to Rue.
Hey, Rue! How are Rue?
Is your haunt 100% indoors?
Yes, aside from the parking lot and a bit of a waiting area.
Jordan says that he believes the monster's real name is Adam.
That's sometimes, yes. Adam. That's only because the book was originally titled Adam, the New Prometheus. So that is where the Adam name comes from. But the book has been retitled Frankenstein, so I don't know that that is actually canon anymore.
Big Dog says it clogs really easy.
It does clog easy.
Did you see Cobwebs and Candlesticks unboxing of Quint the Shark? That mask was beautiful.
Hey, thank you. I made that mask. And I did see that unboxing.
It, I think that looked really good on that driftwood.
Oh, he did a great job presenting it.
It looked really
It
beautiful.
looked wonderful.
We are doing a charity haunt this year, if all goes well. And there is a place that you would, is there a place you would recommend to buy props from on a budget?
It depends on what the props are. Like, what props do you need? Some haunted houses, some companies have props that are more expensive than others, and others have, you know, it depends on what you need. Like, some people have inexpensive masks but expensive bodies. So, what kind of props are you looking for? What's your theme?
Psycho says, can I buy mask paint from you?
Yes, I was actually wondering if I should start selling mask paint. Simply because Monster Maker sells it, and I'm not thrilled with what they sell. It might be easier.
Did you send them samples?
I sent him samples, yes.
Did it work out? Did they do well?
Psycho, did you like the mask paint that you got? I think you said before that you did. Maybe my wife wasn't here then.
Okay, yeah, I remember that he had trouble with the paint.
It was clumping up.
You sent samples, and I was curious as to whether or not you ordered samples to help.
My wife wants to know if you like the paint.
He said
If you're asking about buying it,
it was
then
great.
okay.
He wants to buy something.
Well, I'm sure we can figure it out. Let me look at cost and things. Okay, that's my air hoses. Where are my figs?
Where do you live? What state?
I'm in
No,
Texas.
I'm sorry, he's asking someone else.
Oh,
I see you too, Ezekiel. Let's see. Rue didn't go home. He's still here.
oh,
The great thing about Frankenstein's creature is you can create and recreate him 1,000 different ways and still not be the same.
yes, because every time he gets made, you use different parts. This is the bag I was looking for. This is my bag of airbrushing happy.
Can I use a Rotocast machine to use less latex, or will it not work?
You can slush cast, meaning you take the mold and you pour in as much latex as you have, maybe a gallon or half a gallon. You pick it up and you just roll it around and then you pour it out. You let that layer dry. You do that 3 or 4 times and you'll have a decent thickness for a mask. A lot of people slush cast if they can't get a whole 5 gallons of latex. I just highly recommend you get 5 gallons of latex because I think you're going to use it.
Piper said, yes, you should sell it.
Maybe I will do
Hugo.
that.
Say hi to Hugo.
Hello, Hugo. Hugo tends to say hello to the pets first,
Yeah. It's,
and then he'll talk to us people.
do the masks not fit some people when you sculpt it on the head, like their nose might be too big or something?
Masks are pretty much a general fit. I mean, the Ed head is pretty good sized. Now, I'm a big boy, so if you sculpt something tight to the Ed head, it's going to be tight on me. But you can always slip the back, and you have that as an option. I tend to make a larger mask, and you can always foam it out if you need to make it fit.
Rue would like to know, you know what he's going to ask, did you pull the full murder jacket?
I did. Would you like to see it?
Oh, very excited.
I did pull it. If you're interested in looking at it, let me know, and I'll go get it.
He says, well, of course.
Oh, I didn't know. I mean, that would be an assumption. I don't want to assume your interests.
We have a number of predetermined sets. Our theme is Haunted Castle. And one of the scenes we are building right now is actually Frankenstein. The other set we are currently building is a torture chamber.
Cool!
This is Full Murder Jacket.
You adjust your camera.
It's my.
I can't see anything. Oh, look. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
I haven't cut out the eyes or any breathing. Soon I will be unconscious.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
They are too.
This is my favorite part. Oh, look, it's got an actual hornet on it. I had no idea.
That's not a hornet. But it does look good.
It wants to be a hornet when it grows up.
But hell, there's literally a wasp on it.
Yeah, he's
That looks
attracted to his
great.
own kind.
It's cool, very cool.
I could tell the eyes line up perfectly because where we're supposed to cut out is stabbing into my eyeball, so that means it works. Good job, Rue.
Great
Well
job,
done.
Rue. Approximately how many masks do you get out of a bucket?
Probably 20, 25, depending. Yeah, I mean, it depends on, how big the mask is. So, yeah.
Flocking Frankenstein. Flocking Louise, it says. Like a mask.
Well, I didn't plan on flocking Frankenstein.
Michael Lassiter says, and also the slush casting multiple layers, sometimes you can get delamination.
You can. That's why I don't recommend slush casting. I don't like that like right out of the gate. I'm not a big fan of slush casting.
See, he said, Rudy, you should be prepared for the full murder jacket. He was not.
So,
Are you a Pinata ink distributor? Is that Pinata?
No, I am not. I'm not a Pinata ink distributor. You can, but one of the cheapest places to buy it is Dick Blick Art Supply. I swear that's a real store. I'm not putting you on.
Hey Rob, am I reading this right? It says Cal Method. What was your question? Ezekiel says, stellar job, Rue. You can come back.
Hooray!
Stanley says, how do you figure out proportions for body parts? Starting a body frame for Frankenstein to be 10 feet tall, the body is looking like Slender Man proportions.
Okay, I think that 10 feet tall is too tall. Okay, we just did a Frankenstein for Dark Hour a while ago. All right, well, I guess it was last July, and so I made a Frankenstein that was 8 foot tall. And what I did was I made I made a packing tape mold of one of our actors that is huge. Chris is, I think he's 6'8", so he's big to begin with. And then I filled it with fence post whole foam. And then I cut the bicep, and I pulled it apart 2 inches, and I taped over that, and I filled that with foam. And then I cut the forearm, and I added 2 inches to that. I pulled it apart 2 inches. I taped over that, and I filled that with foam. And basically, I kind of kept doing that. I did the torso, and I added 4 inches in the torso. So I got an 8 foot tall creature out of that 6'9" actor by just lengthening those proportions a bit in different areas. If I put one whole foot right in the torso, that would look silly. So I did, 4 or 5 inches in the torso, and then I did, 2 inches in the thigh, 3 inches in the calf, and you get this nice graduated taller. And you might have to add some onto it to bulk him up a little bit.
Thank you, Psycho.
Psycho,
Very
you're so
kind.
kind and nice.
Okay.
Oh.
Where can you buy naphtha?
What state are you in? If you're in California, you can't buy naphtha. Most of the time, you can get naphtha at Home Depot or Lowe's. They have it in the paint department. Yeah, paint department.
What was your hardest mask to sculpt that's currently for sale? It's an interesting question. You'd have to be looking on the website. But
The bear was actually pretty tough
Yeah.
because it had to look like a bear, and everybody knows what a bear looks like. Like when I sculpt something like Heptaron, no one knows what that looks like, so I can do whatever I want with it as long as it makes anatomical sense. But doing the bear, everybody knows what a bear looks like, and if you watch the live stream of me sculpting the bear, you see a lot of people say, "Oh, hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to do this," because they know what a bear looks like. And I'm looking at my visual reference, and I'm sculpting the bear, and I have 30 very nice people helping me sculpt this bear, and I'm listening to input from everybody. So something that everyone knows what it looks like a likeness is really difficult. I don't have one of those for sale on the website, and I may not ever. Also, my female monster mask, which could be a female it could be a female anything kind of monster. And that's what I would actually use for a Bride of Frankenstein if someone orders one. I have a blank of it right here. That was very difficult because I have a hard time sculpting feminine forms. I'm not a feminine, that's not what I see every day. So this, I wanted it to look more feminine. And that was hard because I wanted it to look gaunt. And as soon as it looks gaunt, it looks a little more masculine because men are angular and women are curved. So I had to do some things on this to make it feel more feminine. And still, even then, I push it with paint. I push it more feminine with paint. I have to go look at the end of my hose real quick. I'll be right back.
And while he does, I'm going to give you guys a t-shirt update for you guys who have ordered the green t-shirts. Again, still, I know that you all said that you wanted green t-shirts, but I didn't know they were gonna fly like they are. So thank you again so much for honoring your request and actually buying these things. They're going to be fun. We pick them up next week and they'll start going out next week. So again, that will, and then I already have a second reorder. So the XLs that sold out so fast, and hopefully I'm waiting for a confirmation, but it's looking like a big thumbs up for 4X and 5X in the green shirts. So super excited about that. I'll give you a confirmation on that, and then I will add that to the website so you guys can go ahead and order the 4X and 5X size shirts. And so we're hoping to get that second refill order at the end of next week or the week after. But the first round is coming out next week, so shirts will start going out next week. And again, thank you so much. There you go. Shirts. Who'd have thought? Okay, you ready for more questions?
Yeah.
How
It's
many
a
hours?
great question night. I like nights like this.
Some really good questions. How many hours does it usually take you to sculpt a full mask without shoulders or chest?
8 hours. And if you put the shoulders and chest in there, maybe 9. I mean, because those aren't that hard. But 8 to 12 hours.
How many, Rue says, oh my God, it's almost been a year since you sculpted, Rue? Is that what it's been a year of? Oh. Rob O'Brien said method acting for a hornet to be on the hornet. Lame joke. I got
Yeah.
you. Are you going to paint stuff?
I'm gonna paint stuff.
Axeman.
I'm gonna spray paint. I'm gonna
Nick
paint
Springsteen.
stuff.
Oh, and I also meant to say hello to some really good questions here. Tommy64, hello and welcome.
Hello.
Nick Springsteen says, I'll be doing a Frankenstein full-size suit.
Awesome.
Bob Boy says, the bear turned out amazing.
I am happy with the bear.
Turned out very nice, says Mogan. I got your story time, Psycho. Glenn, I don't know what's wrong with this hose. What we've got on the, during this quarantine time, we've had a few friends who are really skilled in carpentry. And one of them in particular is a carpenter and set designer for Dark Hour. And he needed some work and was like, well, let's build some shelves and stuff in the back. And he gave you a tour, Alan did, a couple of weeks ago, I believe. But the back porch of this shop, which used to be just a catch-all and really a mess, has turned into a really functional workspace. So here in a few minutes, when we head out to watch him spray up all of the Frankenstein masks, I'll bring that with you and show you. But
Let's take this show outside.
Glenn had a question on the hoses.
Okay.
Hang on a second. Glenn says, what's wrong with your hose?
Nothing. I'm just adding a hose where I have not had one.
And you've got tubing out the back.
Yes. I have piped outside air so I can spray outside and chunkify the shop.
Am I going with you?
Yeah, go with me. Let me first turn this around. Turn around, bright eyes.
Here we go, guys.
One of my other projects to put a big light out here, I just haven't done it yet. Because I like challenges.
But you can see some of our shelving and such that we've had made from Mike Square, our buddy who is a great builder. He's done a great job with that. Am I in a good spot?
See that?
Those are good. Those are nifty.
Aren't those awesome? I have to go get some, let's get some paint for
Who
this.
made
I'll be right back.
this? Oh, those are nice. I haven't even seen that, guys. It is a lovely night here in Texas. It's nice and cool this evening, not too muggy. Those skeeters abound, so we keep moving. But anyway, while he's doing that, I'm going to give you guys I think you've seen this. You can see all our new shelving and everything. It's nice. Yeah, we do need a light back here.
Well, I have a big light set up, I just haven't wired it in.
That's going to be nice.
One of those projects I'm going to do in my massive spare time. Probably over there is best.
Yeah, but to say, let me try and I'm silhouetting you. Okay, you guys, hope you can see. What are you pouring in?
Well, latex paint. Well, latex mask paint.
And let me see the gun.
This is
Did you
the
spray the
15, maybe
I think you sprayed a dog.
$15 sprayer from Harbor Freight, HVLP sprayer. It's a good one. One of the best deals in the store.
And so right now you're just basing out, right?
Just basing out. A new sprayer is so sexy. And I'm watching my angles because, you know, under that chin, I wouldn't get that if I didn't look and fix it.
Psycho wants a creepy story. You know what's awesome is that right now we've actually been doing some burning today. Since we live out in the country, we can do burning, and there's no burn ban at the moment. And so we actually have a fire, a campfire kind of going out there. It's a little hard to see because of all the coals. But yeah, this would be good. I'm gonna go make you guys some s'mores and cocktails and tell you scary stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I gotta grab the head.
Can you guys see the? I'll make sure that you can see the. We do need a light back here. We're getting there. So you can see that this is the new gun. It's so pretty and shiny. It'll never be pretty and shiny again.
Never.
Those are really good stands. Square make those?
Well, these they sell at Harbor Freight, and I had him put those wood ones together.
That's
yes.
great. They want a scary story.
Ooh.
I will tell you guys a story while we're doing this. Is that there was one night many years ago, early in our marriage, and Alan was director at Scream's Halloween Park in Waxahachie. That's one we've told you guys about. That is the Renaissance Festival in the spring.
Aye.
And it was about 2 in the morning, and he's back in that outside area working. And he came home much earlier than I thought he would. And when he got home, I was like, what are you doing home so early? Because I thought he was going to like push through the night, because he does that sometimes.
Come on.
And do you remember this, honey?
I do.
And he's
I
like,
remember exactly what sent me home.
and
too.
he's like, I was working out there, and he's working alone. And he says, I was working out there, and come on, and I heard something. And what did you hear? Footsteps and things moving?
So I heard some footsteps and things, and I'm the only one working. I'm outside, and it's basically a fence panel maze. And I'm putting things up, and I'm lighting, I'm doing that stuff, and I heard like a stick dragging along the fence on the other side of where I was working. And I didn't like freak out. I thought it was somebody messing with me. So I backed up, like I walked backwards, watching the area, because I could see if someone left that side, I could see if someone left that side. So I backed up, and we had stairs that took you to a balcony that overlooked the whole alley. Mm-hmm. So I got up, and I backed up the stairs, and I'm watching. No one, no movement, no nothing. So I grab a light, and I'm using a light, nothing. And it's like dead quiet. So I would have heard it. And then I got back and I worked, and I heard that stick being dragged along the fence on the other side again. And I waited, and I heard it walk, and there was a gap in the fence panel where a door would be, and I heard it pick up on the other side. And no one walked by. So I'm like, now's a good time to go home. So I took my torch, and I grabbed everything, and I went.
I was so surprised. Yeah. Here you go. He came home, and I was like, what's wrong? He's like, I'm done.
Yep. Yeah, that was enough. Either I was tired and hearing things, which I should go home anyway.
It's possible.
Or there was a ghost there, and I should go home anyway.
Which is also possible.
Because I happen to be a white male, but I'm not one of Eddie Murphy's white males. Okay. This is a nice place. Get out. We could put the sofa over there. We could put the curtains over there. Get out. Eddie Murphy says that if a black man heard that, he'd go, well, we got to go. And I'm like, okay, time. I also, just once, I want one of those horror, ghost, possession, whatever movies to happen. And the mom tells the dad what she saw, or what she thinks the house is haunted. Just once, I want the dad to go, oh, okay, I believe you. Let's get out of here. Let's handle this and take care of this and get out. No, never does that happen. They have to beat the dad over the head with a 2x4, like a ghost has to concho him for him to know what's going on.
Goodness morning.
What? saying. No one likes a ghost poncho.
When casting masks with tentacles in the face, do you fill it with latex or hollow cast it somehow if they will be big and heavy, reaching down from the mouth to the neck like a Cthulhu mask? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, even when I fill this with latex, it's still going to be hollow. So, it's going to be hollow no matter what. The way that I do mine is I actually do the tentacles differently. Normally I'll build nubs, and then I do the tentacles out of wire and tubing or something else, so that I have more flexibility and more options with my tentacles. The guys like tentacle options.
Of the recent masks, which is going to have the costume created on these videos?
You'll probably see me make a Beastman costume. Just for me.
That's for you to wear around the house.
To wear around the house. Yeah. Yeah.
One of my most rewarding costume builds was the Savini Jacon, Jacon, from the video game, for my 10-year-old son on Halloween. I built it completely from scratch. It turned out great.
Probably means Jason.
Jason, he was the only kid with it.
Awesome.
Do you have a favorite mask of all time?
That is an excellent question. You mean one that I made, or one that, or just a different, or anyone's mask?
Alan's back walking out gave me flashbacks to following Walmart workers who are trying to help me find some. Horror Beauty, it's Frankenstein Night, and he just based out several masks, or a couple of masks, and
I based out several Frankenheads.
and they're going to be ready to go here.
And I'm going to get these guys painted, and this will give me a idea of, you know, what else I'm doing.
Brandon says, if you ever get insect issues, I can send you designs and parts listed to rig up a bug light to draw them away. PVC, 12-volt DC LEDs, and your gold or ultraviolet.
I actually have a good bug light out there. I just haven't turned on.
Out of all the airbrushes at Harbor Freight, which one is the one you recommend to get the most use out of?
Oh, definitely the $10 Harbor Freight Quick Change airbrush. Here's how much I love it. Right over here are my bags from my Harbor Freight trip the other day. And I bought 4 of these puppies. Why do I buy them? Because I buy them instead of washing out the bottles. Once the bottles get real bad, it takes about 30 minutes to really clean the bottles, and I don't do that. They're plastic, so you can't use a solvent. But it's $10 for 5 of them, so they're $2 a piece. So I buy more bottles, which means I have a bunch of the airbrush around too. Yeah, and that fitting right there, every airbrush at Harbor Freight comes with a fitting that has a 1/4-inch end. That's 1/4-inch fitting for air compressor stuff. So those hoses that I got would screw right on the end of this and work.
Harvey says, I am excited for Frankenstein. Another thing to add to my list of things I need to get from him.
Hooray!
What PSI do you have your air compressor set?
80, right out of the air compressor, 80.
Logan K says, I need to get an airbrush. You based that like in 2 seconds. While with a brush, it would be much longer. It's
Yes.
also silly to me that you can buy a whole compressor for the same price as an Ed head.
Well, don't get an airbrush compressor. I mean, don't get an airbrush compressor from Harbor Freight. They don't put out enough power. You can get a decent little pancake compressor for $70 to $80. Home Depot has an $80 compressor that works fine for airbrushes. Airbrush compressors, they're normally meant for model painting or airbrush makeup. And they don't put out, like they might put out a maximum of 30 or 40 PSI. That's not going to push latex mask paint out very well. So you really want it to be a higher PSI.
Okay, working late, it screams in the dark, and my fellow haunter Chad, well, this is our duty. We were working on a circus, and we heard something in the haunt, like someone was dragging something. We left ASAP.
Heck yeah!
You'll just have to realize it was unusual for me to find him come home because something gave me chills.
I prefer my ghost to be manufactured here in my shop. Thank you very much.
This is from Mordor, the Land of Shadows. What a great YouTube.
That's their YouTube name?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not gonna mess with that person.
Will your Frankenstein have bolts?
Yes. I haven't figured out what they're going to be yet, but the bust version is going to have neck bolts because they requested neck bolts.
Horror Beauty says, we did not want to find out if it was some crazy person or wanted.
Nope, you don't need to find out. You don't have to know.
Isn't that funny?
I do not have that much curiosity.
Ezekiel says, Beastman pajamas.
Heck yeah, Beastman pajamas.
My grandmother's house is supposedly haunted, and at night by a woman who was murdered and used to throw parties there. You can hear wine glasses clinking at night. Okay, Spastic Pug, that's awesome.
Your grandmother should move.
I would love for some costume work with my character, but with the Corona pit cut and lots of hours, it's not likely to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks are making choices. You know, that's just how it is right now. My choice is as long as I have materials. Producing content is a inexpensive way for me to pass the time. What does cost is materials, and luckily, I'm selling enough masks and things that I can keep getting materials, which means I can keep going live. So that is how I'm passing my virus time.
Psycho says, can you go outside and tell a story again? My boys got scared. It was so strange. All 4 Harbor Freights by me. I'm going to sell airbrushes online. Rue's excited. He got a haircut.
It's awesome, Rue.
Do you think Halloween's popularity is growing? Also, do you think there will be a new haunter to take our place where we are?
Of course there will be more haunters. There are young haunters popping up all the time. I can't tell you how many people message me and tell me that they watch the videos with their grandkids or kids, and so absolutely. Do I think haunted attractions are getting more popular? Yes. And I actually think that what's that?
He was asking if you think Halloween is getting
I think Halloween is getting popular for a couple reasons. More popular, yes. People want to do things now that will make interesting photos because that's how they share their life, is through interesting photos. And if they can dress up and make cool photos, there are some people who get dressed up for Halloween just for the Instagram posts. They don't really even want to or like to, but they're doing it for Instagram posts. So yeah, the fact that the fact that Halloween offers lots of great visuals means that it's a holiday that's likely to be embraced. You know, it's hard to think of awesome posts for Arbor Day.
What do you add to the gel Liquitex to make the look?
Red food coloring is good. I actually use red water-based leather dye. I use Tandy water stain. That is what I add to it. I just like that. But food coloring is the industry standard. It is pretty translucent, so you have to add a good bit of it.
My dad is buying his own heavy-duty air compressor for painting his International Harvest Scout. He says we can both use it score.
Cool. Who said that?
Logan KFX.
That's awesome.
Hi Michelle Schulte. She says, I actually had to go to the haunt tonight and let in a paranormal team. They will be going live in a while. It was pretty active last time they were.
Very cool.
It's very exciting.
Very cool.
Hello, Stephen Bishop. Oh, Hugo, thank you.
Hugo, thank you so much.
Goodness.
Thank you for that. I appreciate
Yes,
that.
So sweet of you. Thank you.
Boris thanks you.
Yes. Boris loves you. Let's see.
Yeah, the paranormal teams, they love haunted houses. But I think that, you know how you hear that all theaters are haunted? I think it's kind of true for haunted houses too. It's we have building a haunted house, you're putting out the welcome mat. And I think some energy responds to energy,
So is that worse than the hot tub coyotes or the alley ghost?
The alley ghost was worse than the hot tub coyotes because the hot tub coyotes happened at 4 a.m. and that was just a good time to come in anyway. Nevertheless, the fact that all my bits were exposed to possibly nippy yippy coyotes.
Every haunt I've ever worked at has some kind of ghost. Or
Yeah, I think your brain is just in a place to process it there too. You become more open to it.
Our Beauty says, what compressor works at Home Depot for airbrush? It connects.
Right now, there's a great deal of the Whisper Quiet compressors. I have a rigid compressor. I have a 3-gallon rigid compressor in the other room. That's what I normally use. That's the one that you hear running. It's not that quiet. When it dies, and I'm not going through great measures to keep it alive, but when it dies, I will get myself one of the new quiet running compressors. Because you guys can hear how loud it is when it kicks on.
Are the air compressors any good at Harbor Freight?
They actually have a nice air compressor that is a quiet air compressor. I think it's called a Fortress. I think the brand is Fortress air compressor that Harbor Freight has. That actually is pretty good. I mean, I was very impressed with them. My friend Jim, who also makes masks, Evil Jays, I think is his mask company name. He just got one. He and I were talking. He's very happy with it.
I used to live in a condo building that was haunted. About once a month, a picture would fall off the wall. Kids' toys would move across the floor in the middle of the night. There was never a dull moment.
Get
That's
out of
cool.
there. Get out of there. You don't need that kind of stuff in your life.
Ross, hi Ross.
What's up, Ross?
Says the world sucks right now. People like you, cobwebs and candlesticks and other YouTubians brighten up my day. Thank you, sir. That is a great word.
You can
YouTubians.
you can watch this, and you will not accidentally get told any news. All right. I don't want to be there right now either. You're right. The world is ugly.
However, we did have the launch today.
Yes, we went into space.
The NASA launch, and if you guys watched that, it was very inspiring and exciting, so happy about that. I used to live next to a cemetery. The neighbors were quiet, except for all of that coughing. Oh, God, John.
You read that whole thing.
He just
You read that whole thing out loud.
He hooked me. I thought that was a legitimate. God dang it, John. Annie Rue says, not to be a pessimist, but I think your mind is just kind of predisposed to be scared while inside a haunt.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite mask out of any masks? The mask you're making? Is it like the dog you're petting or your favorite dog?
I'm thinking.
Favorite mask of all masks.
Probably the one I was wearing when I met my wife. Because that mask, it was a bat creature type, gargoyle type mask. And I wore that mask as a costume while I was acting and working for, 8-10 years. And it's one I made. But in it, I met my wife. In it, I worked at haunted houses all over the country. And a lot of memories were made in that mask. So, kind of a cop-out, but that mask is my favorite.
Got you a wife.
It got me a wife, that's right.
Psycho says, when someone gets scared, it changes their lives.
Yeah.
In Salem, Halloween is
And-
a month of...
It also improves their lives. It also improves their lives because an antelope never feels more alive or happier than when it just got away from a lion. Sorry, honey. Carry on.
No. Some of the best things that are said are when you think about it, so just press on. Christoph. Hello, Christopher. In Salem, Halloween is a month-long celebration. We dress up just about every night during the month.
That is awesome.
Stephen Bishop says he bought an airbrush kit on Amazon. It arrives tomorrow.
Great. If you need any help with it, feel free to post in the group. I don't know if you're on the Creepers group, but listen, right now, all I'm doing on Facebook is I'm going to the 3 groups I moderate, and I'm going to the Creepers page. That's all I'm doing on Facebook, because the rest of it is a wasteland of despair. Sorry.
Psycho wants to see the hands close up. Are you using those as a prop?
These are going to go with the Frankenstein bust, actually. It is. These are going to go with the Frankenstein bust to make a set.
1980 says, stores are opening slowly. My thrift treasure hunts resume. Thrift stores are where it's at.
Yeah, we like thrifting.
Spook Shack. I did watch the launch today. Very exciting. I was very excited to see the launch, guys. That's history, and it was very inspiring to see something that wasn't so depressing. Oh, Michael! Thank you.
What's that?
This is compressor fun. Why wait for the loud? Wait for the. Why keep the loud for a backup? Why wait? Why the last 50? Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's the Fortress compressor.
Oh, Michelle, thank you. Michelle just gave us a bump. Thank you so much. Gosh, guys, thank you.
You guys, you started this. Think about what you did.
No, that's funny.
Okay. Yeah, I'm digging that base. I'm really liking that. I think that's that's a good green for Frankenstein. I don't think it needs to be over the top and harsher than that. I'll probably add a little bit of white to this in order to, go one more level.
Bruce says, I was just typing. You better say that back, ask. John Royski. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I did actively live next to a cemetery for a few years. You get used to it more quickly than you think. Does anybody remember, and now, this was an old show when I was a kid and first saw it, but does anybody remember the Night Gallery with Rod Serling? And again, this was, the first time I saw it, it was old, but it was the one with Roddy McDowell when he sees the painting of the cemetery. You guys remember that? And then the painting keeps changing, and it shows, the grave is open, and then something's coming out of the grave and whatever like this. I was thinking that's it. People who are in a cemetery, who have a cemetery next to them, I think that has to be, like, that's the first thing I would think of, is people looking out, the cemetery keeps changing. You've ever seen this? I was a little kid and I was terrified. That and the Trilogy of Terror with Karen Black.
Tiki doll!
It's not that Zuni fetish dolls.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Terrible. I'm so scared of that. Okay. Psycho X-Man says it changes the brain.
Getting scared, yes.
Psycho X-Man, someone already might have already answered this. The Creepers group is on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, if you can make a quick, simple profile and then join us, that would be awesome. Brandon, thank you. You guys are awesome. So good of you. Thank you. Yes, Spook Shack. Right now, Facebook is a bit of a cesspool. So yeah, it's tough. But I was very happy today to see the launch. See something positive and inspiring. Good stuff's out there, you guys.
Your face is out there.
Your face is out there. John C. says, there's a fence around the cemetery. It's still beyond a doubt. People outside don't want to get in. People inside can't get out. Brandon, thank you again. That's so sweet.
Brandon, thank you so much.
Psycho says, that is fucking beautiful. Yes, Night Gallery. Okay. Man, guys, they're terrifying.
So how I did the gloves, the hands, is I hit them with a little bit of this gray. This is a lighter gray. I hit them with a bit of that first. I dry brushed them with that as a base. And then I mixed gray and this lime green, actually. And then mixing those two together, I got a, what I think is a good Frankskin. Oh, Frankenstein, oh, Frankenstein.
Spook Shack, reruns of Night Gallery. Okay, yeah, the first time I saw this as a kid, Night Gallery was, I don't know, it was on some rerun. So, it was, it was way before my time in that, but it was so cool. So, you guys are probably rolling your eyes at me that this is something you haven't seen it. Oh, thank you, Logan. Michelle says, I'm 56, Barnabas Collins, Night Gallery, The Ghost of Mrs. Muir, The Crypt Keeper are my favorites.
Heck yeah.
You know what, Michelle, I don't think it matters what age you are. The Ghost of Mrs. Muir was an old review the first time I saw it, and I don't care. Barnabas Collins, that's the original Dark Shadows, which I discovered like in the 80s. I discovered it in the 80s because I thought it was so hilarious that, they'd be walking through a set and tombstones fall over. The bloopers were just the best. But, it's so good. Yes, Hard Beauty. Yes, it had Joan Crawford too. That's correct. Thank you, Michelle. Big Dog says, I love living next to a cemetery. Neighbors are quiet.
Yeah.
Rachel, probably my favorite Halloween movie was an old made-for-TV movie called The Midnight Hour. Rachel, who is in that? A made-for-TV movie?
I remember a movie called The Midnight Hour. I remember that.
Is that 1985? I'm looking this up. Is that with Sherry Belafonte?
Sherry Belafonte.
1985? Is that it? Robert White. Me and my mother on Friday nights would stay up and watch Fright Night. Oh. Joanne Crowley. When I was a teenager, we used to hang out in the cemetery. Psycho says, are you going to tell a story outside in like an hour? He wants you to go tell.
It's possible. Yes, I can tell a story in an hour.
Big dog. I did have my boots on earlier today, but I got cleaned up because I was pretty filthy, so that's why I don't have my boots on. Yeah. But no, I guarantee you, Alan will testify. First thing every morning, I put on boots.
Yep.
Elon Musk was living exhausted today. I agree, Spook Shack. He was looking tired, but victorious.
You know what? I fully understand that. I look pretty tired on the day my haunt opens. I can only imagine how tired he would be on the day he sent people to space.
I think he was relieved because it went so well. But I mean, if you guys watched that launch today, down to the last minute, they were watching the launch and the weather.
Sure.
I mean, we were like holding our breath. So excited. Brandon D says, 2 months ago, someone rolled off the highway with a neighborhood cemetery by where I live. No one was seriously injured. No puns. John's got it covered. John Ovitz. Hey, John. Oops. Yeah. Hey, John. I worked in an old cemetery for a little while. Pretty strange. Things go on in there. Yeah. Psycho says, where can I buy that paint?
Honey, when do you want to add mask paint to the website?
Oh my gosh, Psycho.
I have some special effects things that I'm actually working on several things on the creation special effects end of things. So give me like 2-3 weeks because I have some things to nail down. And as soon as I get those all nailed down, then I can launch those product things. So, yeah, if that works, I have a couple things I'm working on, and I could easily add mask paint into that.
Ross Reichert says, I have the Munsters complete series and 2 movies.
That's awesome.
Stephen Bishop says, sorry, but I probably missed it. Was the merman sculpt finished?
It was not finished. I got to finish it tomorrow so I can mold it tomorrow. Tomorrow I have to knock out 4 grave diggers. I have a couple things I have to do tomorrow. And then I can work on the merman sculpture, get it done, and get it molded. It should be a pretty fast mold because it's just the head,
I love Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows was a fun series. And the cheesier the better. So many cool series of monsters in the 70s and 80s.
Well, Psycho, I can't work on the Wolfman speaker until it gets here, so I'm at a bit of a hold on that, I'm afraid.
John Crawford has risen from the grave. Blue Oyster Cult, Fire on Man. This is good stuff. Oh, you guys are very nostalgic tonight. Rachel Powell says, I don't remember the actors, but it's about zombies and vampires, and the full movie is on YouTube. Okay, thank you. Fun, I'll check it out. Did you guys hear a boom around 9:30 last night?
I'd have to look it up. I didn't hear it. I mean, I was busy working.
I heard a lot of things. Sundays used to be Preacher double feature. Okay, so I hope they upgraded the glass on the capsule. Chickawee and Moon is here. Thank you.
Hello?
Space finally. It's exciting. I had my grandkids watch it. It was fantastic. Sidara, I watched it even though it was 5:22 a.m. my time. Sidara, where are you?
I think that is another Australian.
Where are you? 6:22 a.m. Will you paint the nails to make Frankie's emo side appear?
I will not paint them black.
Big Dog says, but I really lived next to a cemetery. Would go in and help put flies on everyone that served and found one guy that was an Indian, more civil, and more living.
That's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. She posted a link. I would love that. It's funny that YouTube sometimes is the only way to see some old stuff. Does anybody remember, and the only place I've been able to find it is YouTube. Does anybody remember The Legend of Sleepy Hollow with Jeff Goldblum? I was a kid in school when I saw this, and it's such a good rendition. And so Jeff Goldblum's Legend of Sleepy Hollow. The only place I'm able to find it is on YouTube. So of course the quality isn't awesome, but it is such a good version of the classic. Really, really good. I don't know if anybody, am I the only one who's ever seen that? I loved it.
It's not a dry day today, so this is taking a while to dry.
Cemeteries aren't disturbing. Common thought is that they are, but I used to take walks past one and stop and lay down and take a nap there. It's always very peaceful.
Well, I think your mindset is what makes a cemetery disturbing or not.
Ezekiel says, I was going to visit my grandmother's grave. I hadn't been there since she passed. On the way, I T-boned a hearse. Felt like she didn't want me to visit. Took me a few years to go back and try to visit.
I understand that.
Chad Smith says, 2 molds dwelling.
I do have 2 molds. Wait, I have 3 things dwelling, don't I?
Psycho says, it's 7:30 p.m. Is it story time outside?
Let me get him painted, and then it's 9:30 for us. Let's do story time right at closing, right about 10 o'clock.
So that's in 30 minutes.
Yeah, so 30 minutes, we'll do story time outside.
Are you telling the story?
I'm going to tell the
Do
story.
you have a scary story?
Yes, what I'll probably do is I'll probably read a scary story in mood lighting.
Do you want me to go get the fire going?
We won't have enough
Oh.
signal to reach down there.
Oh, that's true. I was going to get the fire going, guys. Okay. Hello, Generation X. It's Frankenstein Night.
It is.
Okay, you guys remember that. That's great.
I did not remember that. I didn't remember that there was a version
Oh,
of
it's my
Goldblum.
favorite. It's, well,
I can
okay.
see him being good at it.
Look, I love the Tim Burton one, of course, but I also love this one. I wound up with 5 cracks in my last mold. I'm going to make a master every mold, says Chad Smith.
Did you mold in hydrocal?
Renee Williams says, hi, Alan. This is James. James is using Renee's account. So, hello, James.
Is it James Minnick?
No. No, I know James Minnick.
Well, what James is it?
Well, Renee Williams' account, it says, hi, Alan, this is James.
Well, I know, but I need to know which James.
Michelle says, I've seen it, but it seems like forever ago. I agree. And it was, oh, guys, it's such a good version. Yes, Horror Beauty, before you got weird. It's such a good version. I love it. Oh, my gosh, Finny 2.0. As a kid, I always enjoyed Cold Check the Night Stalker.
Yeah, I have a friend
Oh, my
who
gosh.
does a Kolchak the Night Stalker cosplay.
And it is
And
awesome.
he's excellent.
So, okay, Finny, because you brought that up, I'm going to tell you guys why Alan's doing this. My father is a firefighter for 40 years. So I was raised in fire stations here in Dallas all my life. And when Dad was on duty, we would, I'd go up and spend the day with him as a little, well, all my life I've been there. And so there was an episode of The Night Stalker with a vampire. And one night, it was a quiet night, so nothing was, no alarms were going off. It was quiet. And there were, everybody was gathered in the main room and was watching The Night Stalker because it was one of the first main scary series that was going on at the time. And my dad told me this. Now, I was too small to be there that late at night. But they were all watching it, and a couple of cops came in to use the facilities, and they ended up getting engrossed in the show and were staying there for a few minutes watching, and were so freaked out by it that they didn't want to go back to their cars because it was for its time, that Night Stalker episode was really creepy. And so, of course, the firefighters went and hid behind their squad car, and when they went to go back to their car, jumped out at them, which was a terrible thing to do because they're armed. But it was one of those, it kind of started a chain of pranks to play on cops when they would come and stay at the fire station, which happens all the time. Of course, they got them back too because, there's a lot of that back and forth going. But it was the Kolchak Night Stalker series. And it was one of my first introductions to a scary series that was, every week you'd tune in and get creeped out, and it was just so good. But yeah, we have a buddy who does a cosplay Night Stalker, and he looks perfect. He really does. I'm going to try and get a picture of him, and I'll put it on the Facebook Creepers. He'll be so proud you guys saw it. But it's a beautiful cosplay. What a great show. You guys are making me very nostalgic tonight. The Night Stalker. Does that have the Headless Horseman in it? Yes, Spook Shack, it does. It's so good. Psycho, your kids are waiting. 10 o'clock, Psycho. It'll be story time.
I kind of run a show here, Psycho. I don't know. You
how
know how this goes, buddy.
How did the new truck horn go over?
Oh, listen. I made sure that I drove the route with the most people on it. There's a lovely section in between work and Biddy Mold Supply where I had to go the other day, where I could stop at the red light, and when people crossed in front of me at the crosswalk, I blew the horn. Scared the crud out of them.
What's wrong
It
with
was
you?
awesome.
We're a Cary State.
It was awesome.
Chad Smith talking about the cracks in his phone. Yes, it was hydropower.
Okay, use warmer water. And are you doing several layers? Are you doing it all in one whack?
Are you going to make any other monsters? Tonight, Gen X, is that what you mean?
I always make other monsters.
Tonight is Frankenstein night.
Yeah. Yeah, tonight this is what I'm doing. I'll be lucky if I get him done, but I think I'll get him really close.
What are you going to do tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm probably molding the mermaid. And that lets me be ready for Master of the Universe Monday, where I can do Beast Mode and Merman.
Is Merman a Masters of the Universe?
Yes,
He is?
yes.
Oh.
I also pulled up a skull mask that I could make into Skeletor.
Do you remember Nightmare on Elm Street, the series?
I do.
Psycho says, no, it's Frankenstein stories outside. Robert White says, I forgot what it sounds like. No, you didn't, Robert.
For what
Your
sounds
horn.
like?
Your
Oh.
horn. No, you didn't, Robert. I shall not fall for it.
Sounds like this. What it sounds like.
Why aren't there many Bride of Frankenstein masks?
Oh, okay. So my thoughts on that are most women don't want to wear masks. Most women are better at makeup than men. So they, do more makeup. But also, it's mostly guys who make masks, mostly. And they tend to sculpt on their life casts. So they make man-sized masks.
Horror Beauty says, next time, Alan, video you honking the horn, please. We can't, we gotta see the reaction. P.S. YouTube, Wes Harrison, you won't believe your ears. Halloween and Car Store was a must. The whole thing is funny stories. Wes Harrison. Okay, thanks,
Okay.
Horror Beauty. Chad Smith says, I think it cracked because I had to pry out the Monster FX armature, but I do layers, but all at once, back to back.
Okay.
I was out of burlap. Gen X says, I mean like Drac and the Mummy, etc. Are you gonna do more monsters?
Yes.
Classic Universal monsters.
I do plan on doing a mummy. I'm going to do a mummy with my Gravedigger mask. You have doubts, trust me, it'll be awesome. And yeah.
1980 says, the poem and track star repeats is still in my head from Nightmare the series. Nightmare on
Oh, yes, yeah.
Logan K says, since I'm making a new mask suit with new equipment, so I might do a live each week to show my progress on Tuesday. Just so I'm not cramping your style.
It's okay, man. I can take the night off.
Thank you, Psycho. A little bump there. Wes Harrison equals Mr. Sound Effects. Okay. Spook Shack says, instead of just wearing a mask in Hobby Lobby, I put a mouth and hose mute mask I made recently. I actually got a jump out of the teller.
Nice.
Bruce says, talking about old TV shows, I have the Friday the 13th TV show on DVD.
Yeah, that was a good show too. I watched a lot of that.
Joanne Crowley says, the Mummy would be awesome. Chad Smith says, I sculpted an invisible man. Dadgummit, Chad.
You read that whole thing.
I gotta shake this hook out of my mouth, you guys.
You read that whole thing out
I'm not
loud.
gonna read the rest of it,
Like
Chad.
he was telling the news.
Chad's been asking all these technical questions and procedure questions, and then he reeled me in like a trout. Not doing it, Chad. The color on Frankenstein is fantastic.
Hey, thanks.
Don't encourage him, Rob. Because Thomas R. Hello, folks. I've been missing my creative fix till now. Hello.
Hello.
Newman said, Bruce said, probably my favorite TV show ever. No, Psycho, it's not 10 o'clock yet. Remember the 1980 TV series Hammer House of Horrors?
I do remember that.
Hello, Bill Batchelor.
Hello.
'89 people watching.
Hello, 89 people.
Saturday night, I think people are going out.
Well, last night I had about 60, so this is actually more than last night.
Thank you. Psycho's $5. Ugh. He wants you to tell a story. Logan K. Tuesday is very good for me. So it is convenient. Also, it may be thought that some of the people on here might be bored because your live isn't on that night. Just brainstorming.
That's very kind of you.
1980 says Max Headroom. There is a flashback. So you know what story you're going to tell?
I'm going to find one real quick.
We're going to have
I'm going to have
story
wife
time.
tell a story while I grab a story
Okay.
to tell.
Okay. Chad, you should be ashamed of yourself. Life is full of choices. What's wrong with you?
Shannon's not going to tell a scary story. She's going to tell a normal story.
Well, a lot of times too, I'm updating on things and,
Yeah.
and talking about things that give a little preview that's coming. Bill says, after this, will you make an Igor mask? You gotta love Mel Brooks. Gen X says,
What?
are the pups with you guys tonight?
Yes, they are sleeping.
But as soon as we leave the room to go for story time, they'll come with us and wake up. Hi, Edie. She says, pulling resin ghosts out of molds. These came out pretty good.
Awesome. Did you use the technique from YouTube Wednesday? Did you use that technique?
1980 says, the bloody hook was still on the roof of the car.
That's
Is that
right.
the goat man?
It's Hookman, baby. It's Hookman. Can't take her anywhere.
One of my favorite movies with Vincent Price was The Legend of Hell House. Rodney Pope, will baby powder affect the latex if it gets on the mold?
No. No, just blow it out.
Spook Shack SPFX says, I don't know why this popped in my head, but Bob Ross mask painting.
Well, that's kind of what we're doing.
Edie says, nope, sorry, haven't been well and couldn't get out of the house. She did not get to use that technique. Hope you're feeling better, Edie. Vincent Price, man, I miss seeing him. He was awesome. Hello, Dirk. Hello, monsters and monster lovers.
No.
Ooh, Jones. Hi, buddy. Jonesy. Jonesy the kitty is here to see us. Can you guys hear me? Oh my goodness, Jones. Jones.
Canada can hear him.
Okay. He's trying to tell you that I hadn't fed him today, which is not true. Jones.
Our cat's lie.
Jones.
All cats lie.
He's not been on in a while. Hi, Jones. Jonesy likes to come into the shop and say hi. Chad says, I have some leftover body double. Could I run it in a silicone mold and have a decent silicone prop, or is it not doable enough?
It's okay. It holds up all right. You can actually like do a paint-in layer and then put cheesecloth down and then do more of the body double, and that'll strengthen it and act like rebar kind of.
Rodney says, about 2 tubes of silicone. What today to do YouTube Wednesday?
Awesome.
Hey Rodney, I've got you set up for an armature. I'll send you an invoice here soon. I worked late last night and haven't had a chance to yet, but I will. I haven't forgotten.
She said, you're not important.
That is,
And she said, he can wait, that sucker.
for saying that, Rodney, I'm going to give you all of Alan's Tim Tams.
What?
Yep, that's what you get. Bill says, put a happy glob of blood over here. An extra little eyeball over here. Isn't that just great? Ooh, 1980 says, ma'am, the call is coming from inside the house. Sugar. Sugar.
Is Rue still watching?
Rue, are you there?
Never mind, Rue. I was going to ask him where he put my eyes.
Yes. Where is there?
He put them in the eyeball drawer, as he should have.
Is that for Frankenstein?
Yep.
Stanley still on?
I don't know.
Oh, thank you, Edie. Yeah. Did you like that color, Stanley? Your eyes.
I'm not forgetting about your neck bolts, just haven't done them yet.
Do you make the eyes?
I bought these eyes.
That's a good looking eye for him. Psycho says, and we wait.
We only got like 5 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, my wife says.
Psycho says 9. How deep do you cut the eyes?
I'm only cutting out the latex, and I'm going to use the foam to push the eye forward.
Floating Day says 10 minutes remain. I can barely contain my excitement. Can I paint glass domes for eyes with acrylic paint, or should I use ink?
You can paint with acrylic paint. On the inside, you mean?
Are the eyes glass or plastic?
These ones are glass.
The shark's head you made for cobwebs and candlesticks was freaking awesome.
Hey, thanks.
I think he's getting the eye from Van Dyne. The eyes from
Van Dyke's taxidermy. And now I've got to take a little bit of clay, and I'll go in with a like a foam clay, and I will make an eyelid.
Says yes, the inside, backside. And your ass is, that was Chad saying, can I paint glass dome for eyes?
Yeah, you can use acrylic. Fingernail polish works really good too.
Idea for Frankenstein reboot: instead of human cadavers as parts from pop movie parts, like part alien, Terminator, part He says, can I do that with a half mask?
You can if you foam it.
Do you have to worry about the eye falling down into the cheek?
Only if you cut that out. And I'm also going to glue these in. But pressure holds them in pretty good. Sorry, you're getting a good shot of my arm right now. And you will see some of the foam around it, but only until I glue it.
How long will story time be?
Well, depends on how long the story is, but probably, if I had to guess, I would say 15 minutes or less.
Term of gremlin alien.
Okay. All right, so I need to start picking my story if I'm going to start promptly. And if I don't start promptly, I think Psycho Axeman is going to send me some internet hate mail.
I just
So-
wondered about Mummy Brown used in works by Da Vinci and some of the other painters from that time.
Yes, Mummy Brown is a very common color. Honey, will you come and tell a story for folks while I go look one up?
Okay, well, what I'm gonna do is bring you guys up to date on a few things, because I've had a few folks who have asked about some things. We have some new blanks that a few folks have asked about. Are they gonna be on the website? The answer is yes. Full Murder Jacket, the Murder Hornet, will be on the website. And we had one, Beastman blank. We're talking about blanks. And guys, again, remember, when you order a blank, that's coming with the flashing, with the extra, the extra latex around the edges, that you just trim it off. Do not be afraid to cut these blanks. When you put them on your head, if you find that it's the eyes don't fit right or whatever, don't be afraid to do that. These do not come with. A lot of people have asked me this. Blanks don't come with the eyes and mouth cut out. You do that, and you trim it yourself. This is basically a latex pour that comes in its very rawest, most simple form. And that allows you to, we don't want to cut the eyes and the mouth and such. You do that so you can see how it fits you best and how you want to do it. Also, we would really love for you guys, when you, some of you are already doing this and it's awesome, but send us pictures of what you make. Send us pictures of what you're doing with the blanks. The blanks were never intended to be this lifeline they turned out to be. We were just house cleaning. And then suddenly everything changed in a few days, and Transworld was canceled. And the blanks we were going to take to Transworld, and now I've got a box of blanks. And I just put them on the website to clean house as a clearance item. And then they started selling. I thought we were going to retire these molds, and then, well, everything just changed. I mean, it changed in days. So the blanks have turned into this therapeutic lifeline for a lot of people, which I love that, because it means that, it's providing you guys with something that is very, people love it. It's very soothing for them. And we're glad to do it. So anytime we are making a new mask, which is every Wednesday now, every Wednesday is when you guys vote on what the new mask is going to be. There will be blanks available on the website for that. So this week we'll put up Beastman, Full Murder Jacket. I think those are the only two that we have until he makes a new one this Wednesday. So watch for those to be available. And again, make sure that you're aware that you're getting a very raw form of a latex pool that is easy for you to trim and cut and do whatever you want to with it. Just send us a picture. And if you're on Facebook, please go to the Facebook Creepers page. So you guys are sharing things. And it's so awesome to be able to see what you're doing, because, we have a real belief that this kind of work with your hands, this kind of art, this kind of artistic expression is actually really good for you. It's good for you physically. It's good for you emotionally. And I don't know, I think that we need art more than ever now. So
We really love to see what it is you guys are making. So again, thank you so much. You guys tune in, you respond. We are, of course, very thankful for the support, for your orders, and such. We're super thankful for that, but we're also just thankful for you tuning in. What a pleasure and what an honor for you guys to do so. So thank you again so much. I believe we are getting ready for story time. Psycho, gather your babies around.
We are. We're getting ready.
And if you have if you have babies, or get the cat or the dog or whatever, and I think we are now ready.
I'm not ready yet.
Oh, you're not ready
I'm
yet.
getting there.
Okay, we're about ready to head outside. So what we're going to do, I don't know if you guys share this opinion, but I have a firm belief that storytelling is a forgotten art. Kind of like writing thank you notes. Story time is a forgotten art, and I just don't think that it. I come from a long line of storytellers in my family. It is an old school, old-fashioned practice that sadly falls out of fashion now. But in my family, story time is a big deal, which is probably why I love it so. And I love the idea of gathering and telling stories, and the scarier the better, in my opinion, because that's where the campfire is best. So what we're going to do here in a moment is we're going to go outside. I wish I could take you out to the burn pile. The internet will not reach there, but we do have a huge burn pile going today from some clearing we've been doing, and I really wanted to be able to have it by the fire. Alas,
I'm firing up my tablet so that I have the story to read.
Keep
in mind, I didn't have a lot of time to prep for this.
This
I wasn't
is
really
Psycho's
prepared.
fault.
But this might be something that I do in the future. If you guys enjoy this, then I may read a story in the future.
Yeah.
While I'm prepping this, why don't you show them things? I don't know.
I think that I think story time is it's a lot of fun to filler, but also the art of storytelling is a lost art. And so what we want to do is to wrap up the evening with a scary story. And we might do this some more if you guys really enjoy it. So kind of stand by, gather your babies around, refresh your beverage, big dog. Make sure that you have charged your glasses and are prepared so that we can have a bit of story time. I think we are just about done with Frankenstein except for hair and bolts, but we're going to have to wait on him. So it's going to be awesome. And again, just thanking you guys so much for tuning in like you do, and for wanting to tune in. There's all kinds of ways you could be spending your evening, and we love the fact that you guys spend it with us. So thank you so much. I'm going to put this on Frankenstein. I'm going to get my stuff together so I can go out with you and hold the phone. So hang tight, get your stuff ready, and we're going to go to the story time. Because I am a lover of cat videos, here's a cat video. This is Jonesy. Jonesy kills aliens. I know y'all are rolling your eyes at me. That's okay. You can do that. Oh, okay. Puppies. Well, here's update. Here's Cheney, named after Lon Chaney. And then over here we have the bookends. This is Boris, right here. The big boy, there he is, named after Boris Karloff. And the background there's Boris. And then laying on her little fur rug is the diva, Bella, named after Bela Lugosi. So all the shock creatures are well and good, ready to go. I'm going to read this on Cheney real quick and we get ready to go. Picture of a sleeping dog.
I am prepared.
All right. So unplug your phone. Flip it around so that I can see you.
All right. Where are we going?
Going out into the dark.
Into the dark? Because it's too light here?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Psycho wanted it outside in the dark.
Psycho shall have it. Oh God, if I step on a frog, I'm gonna lose it. Which side would you like, Mon?
Hang on, I'm gonna turn on some lights.
Okay.
Because come back here. Am I dark or am I lit?
You're lit. You're lit beautifully.
Okay.
You look like an angel.
I'm lit too much?
No.
That means I'm lit too much. You don't want those angels reading stories. How's that?
That's good. Make sure that I can hear you. All right, guys, here we go.
This story, and I'll read a couple. It's called The Cell Phone. A couple of months ago, my friend's cousin, a single mother, bought a new cell phone. After a long day of work, she came home, placed her phone on the counter, and went to watch TV. Her son came to her and asked if he could play with her new phone. She told him not to call anyone or mess with text messages, and he agreed. At around 11:20, she was drowsy, so she decided to tuck her son in and go to bed. She walked to his room and saw that he wasn't there. She then ran over to her room to find him sleeping on her bed with the phone in his hand. Relieved, she picked the phone back up from his hand to inspect it. Browsing through it, she noticed only minor changes, such as a new background, banner, etc. But then she opened up her saved pictures. She began deleting the pictures he had taken, until only one new picture remained. When she first saw it, she was in disbelief. It was her son sleeping on her bed, but the picture was taken by someone above him. And it showed the left half of an elderly woman's face. That was a cell phone. That was kind of spooky.
That was spooky.
I'm willing to bet that if I kill one of these, this is probably plenty of light.
Yeah, it's still good light.
Yeah.
Good. Got another one?
This one is called Ghost Bro. My house was built in 1904. It's a single-family home, wood-framed setting on a concrete block foundation. I've been living here for about 12 years. Of all the weird things my siblings and me have seen or heard in this house, this one event is my favorite. This happened to my brother. About 10 years ago, my brother and his best friends had started a garage band playing mostly Spanish rock. Alternative music, but in Spanish. His friends could only get together on Sunday afternoons. They would practice in the early evening, and they would usually call it quits by 8 p.m. This was the first time, this was the time I usually showed up and went to bed, because I worked the graveyard shift. This happened in late fall, so the days were getting shorter. They had just finished a long session when the decision to head to someone else's house came about. My brother handed his car keys to his buddy so they could load up equipment. Everyone had filed out of the basement, but the tricky part was that they needed to walk all the way to the back of the basement, up the back stairs, through the kitchen doorway, down the hall into the living room and out the front porch. Everyone was outside sitting in my brother's truck waiting for him. My brother was walking up the back stairs when he remembered that he left his pancakes in a to-go container sitting on a speaker in the basement. He made the decision to go back. Now, the basement is not clean with full sight lines. There had been partitions made and the boiler and main heating unit right smack in the middle. So after my brother walks back, he is about to retrieve his food container when out of the corner of his eye he sees it. There's a shadowy figure right at his peripheral vision. This feeling of dread and uneasiness washed over my brother. We had been taught that if you were in the presence of a spirit or ghost and if you felt a bad vibe, to say a quick prayer or to cuss at it. My brother chose the latter, and he basically just told it, "Hey, F you, I don't have time for this." My brother started to walk to the back of the basement and briskly up the stairs, closing doors and turning off lights as he was walking out. The last light switch is on the opposite side of the front door. Luckily, the door was open, and light from the street lamp was flooding the living room with his amber light. My brother said he felt something at his back, but at no point did he turn around. As he flicked the last switch, the living room went dark, as did the rest of the house. As he stepped out, he pulled the door, closing it behind him. Still holding his food container in one hand, he jogged down the few porch steps. He walked towards the front gate. Our house resides far from the main street, essentially having a large front yard but no rear garage. As he closed the gap between himself and his friend-laden truck, he kind of smiled and thought things over in his head, mad at himself for spooking out when there was no reason. He climbed into the driver's side of the truck, putting on his seatbelt and getting ready to pull out of the parking spot directly in front of the house, when his friends asked, "Hey, what about your brother? Isn't he coming with us?" My brother answered, "What do you mean? He went to work early tonight. He is already gone. Do you see his car anywhere?" The next question they asked chilled him. "So who was that walking behind you when you were leaving the house?" What's that?
That's a termite stuff.
Should I? I'm going to do one more. This is called the rocking horse. Why don't you close that door so we don't have that sound? It's getting a little bit dark. One night, when I was maybe 10 or 12, I had trouble falling asleep. My bedroom was the entire top floor of our house, with my bed and such being on the left side and storage closets and a play area being on the right. I was laying in bed when I heard a noise from the other side of the room, and I saw a rocking horse begin to rock. It was just sitting outside one of the storage closet doors. It proceeded to rock its way halfway across the room and stopped dead under the ceiling light. At this point, I was freaking out. I just buried my head under my blankets and never peeked out again until morning. It was all confirmed not to be a dream, as the rocking horse was still in the middle of my room when I woke up. Furthermore, I got a stern reprimand from my parents for being up out of bed and playing with my toys well past bedtime. Their bedroom was directly below the storage closet play area, and they had heard the creaking of the rocking horse shuffling from across the room. I think I'll stop that one. And that is actually my timer going off to pour masks in the other room. So thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Let me turn the camera around here. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the spooky ending. The spooky ending to story time.
Can you see the fire behind you?
Yeah, there is a fire going behind me. So I'll tell you what. Psycho is asking for one more.
Okay, I'm going to go turn off Alexa.
Yeah, go turn off the Alexa alarm, and I will read one more story. This is called The Following. My older sister has a ghost that's followed her around for years. I lived with her once for about 3 months, and so much weird stuff happened in all that time. All my sister would say to me when I mentioned it was that her ghost didn't like me being there. Things like going to bed with everything locked up and switched off, and waking up in the morning with the back door open, lights on. Ooh, I lost the story. Hang on, I don't know what happened. Well, my tablet changed. I'll grab my computer. It's up on my computer. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. Tablet went weird on me.
Okay, guys, he has gone. I don't know if you guys can see this. I hope you can. But we actually have a fire going tonight, which is really beautiful in the woods. So, I wish I'd had a bigger fire going. Kind of
My
beautiful.
tablet became haunted.
Is
Okay.
that good? You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Things like going to bed with everything locked up and switched off, and waking in the morning with the back door open, lights on, and the kettle switched on. One night, my sister and I were getting ready to go out, and I'd asked to borrow her liquid foundation. I used it and put it back where she kept her makeup. 10 minutes later, she's asking me for it, and it was nowhere to be seen. She accused me of taking it and made me buy her a new one and refused to listen to my side of the story. About a year or so later, when she was packing to move to a new house, she found the makeup in a shoebox with some old letters. The shoebox was in a zipped-up suitcase that was underneath her bed. But probably the most scared I ever felt was one afternoon when I was the only one in the house, which never happened as 4 other people lived there. I'd arrived home from work and headed straight to the bathroom. All the doors and windows were closed. I was standing in the bathroom and started squeezing a pimple on my chin when a female voice in the hall said, "Stop picking your zits." It was loud enough and sounded real enough at the time I thought it was my sister. So I laughed. I told her to F off and asked what she was doing for dinner. No answer. I stuck my head out into the hall. No one there. I searched the house from top to bottom, and there was no one there. I sat out on the front porch until someone else got home because I didn't want to be there alone. Okay, there you go. That was Ghost Stories. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry my tablet went weird on me, but that happens. And thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Thanks for the super chats, and thanks for liking the Frankenstein. I'll get them finished up. I'll probably go live tomorrow when I'm knocking them out. You guys are awesome. Wife, say goodnight.
Good night.
Go make stuff.